Well, hello, my darlings. Hello, 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 and welcome to Wednesdays with Wallis. It'll be Wednesdays somewhere in the world, probably in the US. I've got the cards in front of me, and I'm going to have a little shuffle while I am talking to you. Now, I was going to call today's session something entirely different than what I did. And I finished up. I was lying in bed this morning, and I woke up. And what came into my mind was this whole thing about, I don't know, sometimes things just come, kids. And but what came to me was this whole thing around, are we on the Titanic or are we on the Love Boat? And it was really quite strange. It just popped into my head, and I got thinking about that, and I thought, oh, well, that's a strange title. But anyway, I'll take it. It was given to me. They gave it. And I got thinking about what that meant. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But first, let's do a bit of housekeeping. I really, really, really want to build the subscriptions, the subscribers. So if you're new, if you haven't subscribed already, could you click on the subscribe button so we can push this through and get some, more subscriptions and more subscribers going? It doesn't cost you anything. You just click on it and there you have it. And the other thing is that I am doing readings. If you want some readings done, not the online ones that I do as freebies, but if you would like a half an hour reading with me, well then, click on the link or go to boldnotold.com.au and, book a reading with me. I'd love to do a reading for you. Those people who have had readings are really excited about those, and it's great for me. I get to chat with you. And, we also get to contribute to the coffers at, Wednesdays with Wallis Psychic Medium. Now, the whole new video area or new YouTube area with my identical twin is coming along. So I think sometime next week or the weekend, we're actually going to be doing our first video next week. I checked with her yesterday on timing, and because we'd like to get a photo shoot done and some other things, but there's been some medical issues around my sister, and so that sort of put the spanner in the works a bit. But anyway, we think now that we'll be able to get going next week, and we'll be able to do that. So look out for that. Next week on Wednesday, I'll tell you when it'll be up, but it'll be up in about another week. We've done the headings for it. We've done all that we need for it. We just now need to, that's interesting. I'm actually going to leave those cards out there because I want to talk about this first. I want to talk about this. Are we on the Titanic? Are we going down, or are we on the Love Boat and heading into calmer waters and more wonderful things that are going to be happening for us in the future, for all of us, each and every one of us. Now, before I do that, I would like to main Galval with the Aussie hubby. Thank you for your comments, and hello back to you. And Linda in Linda's Musings in South Africa. Thank you, Linda. I notice you do make a few comments. Thank you, thank you. And you can go and make more than one comment, everyone else. If you want to make more than one comment, you go make it. It's not like you do one and one's your, the only thing that you can do. You can do more than one. Betty in Texas, thank you, Betty, for joining in. John in Pitttown in New South Wales here in Australia, thank you, John, for joining in. And New Zealand, Scotland, the UK, and I think Sweden and various other areas of the world. If I haven't already mentioned you, please let me know where you're from, because that helps me be able to mention you and appreciate your presence and appreciate you turning up. Now, a lady asked me about what did I know about cold water drops on the skin. And my first reaction to that was it was a nervous reaction. And what then came to me, there is a condition for this, an actual medical condition. Get what it's called, starts with a P, can't remember it all. But there is a medical condition for it. And it is all around the nervous system. Now, what come to me is this. Something's going on around you in your environment. And to me, what I'm getting is you're getting very uptight. You've been getting very uptight, and you're getting yourself all in a nervous flurry about what's going on in the US, what's happening there, what's happening with the whole political arena, what's going to be happening with your life, how's this all going to work out for you. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not getting into the politics of it for now. I'm just simply saying to you, whatever it is, let go. Let go. Let go of it, and let your system settle. And look, it's very difficult at times for us to take things in our stride. I've come across this myself in my life, and in latter times more, because of all the ups and downs that have been happening for me as well in my life at the moment. And I've really, 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 really had to work on this whole thing about, letting go and letting the universe and spirit weave its thing, do its thing. A bit like, that whole area of, there's only three things: somebody else's business, your own business, or spirit's business, or God, if you want to call spirit God, the universe's business. There are only those three things. And if you're out there in those others other than your business, you'll get yourself all caught up, all tied up, and you'll be forever walking around with your foot nailed to the floor. That's the vision I'm getting. Foot nailed to the floor, and you don't know and you don't know where the hell you're going, and you're getting yourself all uptight in what's going on in the environment. Now, apart from voting, whichever way you want to vote, apart from that, and perhaps enrolling and enlisting other people around you, and spreading the news about whatever it is, there's nothing to do, darling. And mind your own business, stay in your own life, and your life is big. Your life's big enough to take up all of your time, for all of us. I'm saying this to all of you. Our lives are big enough for us all. We have big lives. If we haven't got big lives, then we haven't created a big life for ourselves. I was on the phone this morning talking to some people that that have been handling the new website, because we have a new website. Go and look at it. But it's not just the website, it's all the stuff in behind it that, don't ask me, I don't have a lot of information about, but it's all this, how it rates and where it goes and what it does and la 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 la, and all this is rather technical. And so I've got some people who handle all of that, or have been handling it, and building that side of it, building all the stuff that goes on behind. And the universe is doing that for us. The universe does that for us. It builds, props up, puts in place all that supports our living, all that supports who we are, where we're going, what we're doing, and what it is that we desire for ourselves or want. So I want you to mind your own business. I want you to be in your life. I want you to be taking care of your life. And as I said, if it isn't big enough right now, make it bigger. Make it bigger. What are you doing? You know, we came to be big. We came to live a big life. So please, you know, get out there and do it. Get out there and live a big life. Don't live small. You know, be big. Be big. Live a big life. Grab all the opportunities. Take some risks. It's now or never, darlings. It's now or never. And so I feel that you've gotten into a lot of stuff, sweetheart, and I'd like you to get out of it, and I'd like you to focus on your own big life. Will you do that for me? I want you to do that. Yeah. And look, we all have to do that. You know, I've been going through, you know, a whole lot of junk. Oh, God. Stuff. I wonder where the hell it all comes from at times. And then I think, well, you know, live a big life. You know, I was talking to these people this morning and we were talking about the website and all those sort of things. And I thought, right, all right, got that out of the way. I mean, it's ongoing, but it's out of the way, so to speak. Clara, my PA, she doesn't have to be involved in, you know, doing websites anymore and putting things together and changing things at my every whim, keeping her on her toes, because I'm always changing something, coming up with something new. One day it's this, next day it's something else, and, you know, in relation to what I'm doing, you know, some other idea that poor Clara has to work with and put is my little earth angels here for me today. And I'm going to the other one's junk down, but this little one who is growing, look how much he's growing. Remember when we first, don't lick my face, darling. Remember when we first started out? Don't. Remember when we first started out and she was a tiny, tiny little puppy? She was such a little baby. Down there, darling. That's it. And she's such a big girl now. She's growing so much and she follows the other one around all the time, has a little whimper when she wants attention, and it certainly knows, you know, certainly knows about its world. We could take some lessons from these little earth angels. They certainly teach us some things. So back to the story about, and while I was talking to these people, and Clara and I were talking to them this morning, I was thinking about how to make my life bigger, how to live into a bigger life. What would that look like? And I've been doing a bit of writing lately and writing down what I would like and putting little headings like, you know, my ideal world, and then writing down, you know, those things that would make that, pardon me, that world ideal for me. And I want you to do that too. Have a go at it. Okay, all right. Now, I am going to do some one-card readings today, and I'm going to do them for Jennifer Francis, Joanne Sanchez, and Poptart in Pennsylvania. Now, I'm not sure where the other two people are from. You can let me know, Joanne, where you're from, and Jennifer. But Poptart, God love it, is in Pennsylvania. So I'm going to do a reading for you. But first of all, the cards that came out when I was shuffling, because I want to ask the question around, are we on the Titanic or are we on the Love Boat? So the cards that came out were, I'd like to be able to put that down, but my big computer, I can't do that with. But I've got some exciting things coming up in a while, but I won't tell you about those yet. Okay, the Empress, the Hangman, and they're all part of my choosing and living into a bigger life. The Justice card and the Ace of Swords. Now, I'm going to read them. I'm going to read these cards in relation to, and I'm going to keep shuffling while I'm doing it. I'm going to read these cards in relation to Are we on the Titanic, or have we boarded and are we on the Love Boat? And I don't know whether you're all familiar with it, but certainly probably most of you are familiar with, the Love Boat and the series that used to be on telly. I was hooked. I absolutely loved the Love Boat, and I loved the music that went with it. So what this is saying to me is we've been on the Titanic. We've been on the Titanic, and we've been on the Titanic, the hangman. See this? I feel like we've been on the Titanic for quite a number of years. 10? I'm going to go for 10 years. I'm going to say this is a 10-year cycle. That we've been on the Titanic for 10 years, and we've all been caught up in doom and gloom, struggle, darkness. Yeah, where are we? What the? Where are we going? What are we doing? And I feel we've been in that. But having said that, we have this enormous opportunity around us. You in America have a big opportunity for for yourselves to save your democracy and move on, and I'm all for that. I've told you I'm not going to pull any punches about it. I'm a real pro-democracy person, and I feel that your elections and all the stuff that's happening in America, I mean, it's happening because it was meant to happen, and Kamala Harris will become president of the United States, and that's meant to happen. So don't troll me and give me rubbish and dump on me because I've said it. And that you hope she won't, and all the rest of the nonsense. I don't want to hear it. I'm all about your democracy, and I'm all about you going on in your greatness, because America's a great country. I lived there for 4 years and I loved it. Loved it. And I was there in, the big meltdown, 2008, for 4 or 5 years. It was tough going. It was a real meat market. I saw some stuff that really was appalling. And as an Australian, I was like, whoa, what the? How did the bloody hell did you get to this? But anyway, I'm not making a judgment on it. I'm going to tell you, I loved it. I love you Americans. I just think you're wonderful people, and some of you have got caught up in stuff, and that'll sort itself. But you have this big opportunity, Ace of Swords, big opportunity. And this person here, this Empress, I always see the Empress, the card, the Empress, as this person, these people, this whole movement of new ideas, new things, and the planets, the movement of the planets. The big planet Pluto that's moved into Aquarius. It's going to duck back in November. And it'll seem like, we haven't gotten rid of much, but then it's on its last little clean out, and it'll come back into Aquarius for the next 246 years or something like that. Way past our time, and probably several lifetimes. But you're pregnant with new ideas, lots of fabulous things happening for us all. And that's why the whole point of today was me talking about, are we on the Titanic or the Love Boat? We have an opportunity to be moving into something, really quite wonderful and quite fabulous, and living a life that's amazing. We're amazing. We came to be amazing. We didn't come to be mediocre. We didn't come to be whingy and whiny, and we didn't come to be, I don't know, and all the rest of the stuff. That's a waste of a damn good life. So if you're there, try and find a way out of it, darlings. Try and find something, that floats your boat and puts a bit of pep in your step, and, spark in your life. because life's all you have, Dale. That's it. Okay, now the Justice card came out around all this as well, and I always see that sometimes it can be sort of, legal issues and things like that. But in this particular case, overlaying these cards, I'm going to read it as being, pardon me, justice at last. And there certainly are some people that have been ducking and weaving around, the system, and we all need to be accountable for our actions. And that's what's going on in the world today. Let me take another little look at that. Okay. All right. Oh, yes, of course. I'd be surprised if it didn't. Now, what's come out is this Four of Pentacles, this little bloke here, my favourite card, the Sun card. And this one here, which is this, I always love this card when it comes out, eight, the eight of swords. Now, this is about getting caught up, being bound up in your own stuff, in your head stuff, right? This is about your thinking and all the rest of it, getting yourself all tied up, all caught up, all bound up in your head. So if you get too much into that, you're going to be feeling, cold water drops on your skin, and you're going to be feeling all sorts of other stuff going on. And oh, gosh, you're going to be feeling anger, frustration, despair, darkness. You want all that? You want to live like that? You want that crap? Of course you don't. You don't want all that nonsense. So don't get into this. Get into this and get into your life big time. Now, that's what they gave me this morning when I was sleeping. It was going to be a totally different approach today, but that went by the board, and what's come is what's come. So now, this one here, this little card here, this is also, there's this thing around being bound up, this thing around being worried, concerned, putting your foot down on the things, cuddling up, holding on. Holding on now. What am I getting? Okay, holding on to your few dollars, holding on to your meager life. I'm going to be really, really firm today. I'm going to be a difficult Wallis today, and I'm going to be a bit bitchy today, and that's because I'm getting these very it's coming to me very, very clearly. Stop holding on. Get into your life. How many times am I going to say it? Well, I'm going to say it many times during this, reading for you, and during this, Wednesdays with Wallis, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to give it to you. If you don't want it, then you can, of course, you're free. Freedom. You're free to go somewhere else. You're free to listen to someone else. But if you're here to listen to me, you can't. I'm going to get a bit tough at times. I'm going to get a bit bitchy about things because, I want you to have an amazing life. I don't want you to be all bound up in all nonsense thinking, and I don't want you to be hanging on to, smallness. Because when we get bound up in things and we get caught up in stuff, and I've done it myself, I'm not saying I'm any different than you lately. Oh, Lordy, lately I have gotten myself so caught up in smallness and doom and gloom and poor me and no idea. It's nonsense. Okay, don't do it. Okay, I'm suggesting that you're able, capable, you've been given this precious, precious life. You chose, whether you believe it or not, you chose to be here at this time. You chose to make these, tough decisions. And I remind myself of that too. I chose to be here at this time, and I chose to make these, to be here to, pardon me, to grow and to expand in my understanding of life and the universe by facing out and facing down all of these, all of these tough decisions and all this stuff that's going on. Okay, the Sun card. Beautiful. The Sun card says that it's all, the sun shines on it. When the sun's shining and it's not the moon card and it's not the what's behind it and, smoke and mirrors and all the rest of the stuff, none of that stuff came out in this reading, which is wonderful, which says to me we're on the love boat. I think we rode in on, the Titanic, and we thought to ourselves, that's a bit much. We don't want to be running into icebergs and sinking out there. So, we've all gotten off that ship and we've boarded the love boat. What does that mean? It means that we're in a position now in our lives where we can move on and we can use our wonderful talents and everything that we know and understand. And you're here listening to me because there's a certain amount of understanding. There are certain things that you already know, and there's some other things that you want to hear. That's why you're here. You're here in this space because you want to hear what I've got to say. You want to hear. I'm just the messenger. It's not rocket science. I'm just the messenger. I just get all these things. They just come. It's the reason I chose to do this was because all this stuff comes and I just share it. And if you're interested, this is where you are. If you're not, well then, but if you're looking for a political platform and all the rest of the stuff, I have gotten a very strong thing came to me this morning in my early waking hours. Normally, if you're awake between 3 and 5 of the morning, that's when the veil is the thinnest between us and, the non-physical. And that's the best way to put it. So the veil is quite thin then, and we often can sense, feel, and receive communication at that time. And this morning, the communication that was coming to me was around, and I'm shuffling the cards and I'm going to do a little thing about the GOP. What's happening with the GOP? What's happening with the Republicans? What's happening with the Republicans? The GOP, what's going on there, and what's happening with the whole Republican movement in the United States. My interest, well, of course, I became interested when I lived in the US in your politics and things. I studied law, so it started off, I was quite interested in, all the legal things, like watching paint dry kids. It's quite boring, but it wasn't to me. I was quite interested. That's where I started. And when I got into when I got into being interested in your politics and your constitution and all the other things that you have over there, because we have a constitution in Australia as well, a little bit different than yours though, and we're not able to abuse it like yours gets abused. And we don't have a Supreme Court like yours. Oh God! From a legal perspective, and I have to tell you, from a legal person, it's pretty appalling. But anyway, I'm going to get on with this. What is happening to the Republican Party? What's going to go on with the Republicans in the United States? So then I became interested in, your politics then, and I started following a few years ago, quite a few years, your politics, and I must admit that it's been an interesting journey to say the least. Okay, let's have a little look. Okay. Mm. Okay, all right. I'm going to show you the cards that have come out. And it's this card, the Lovers, this Wands here, Two of Pentacles, uh, what have we got? What did I say? Nine of Wands, Two of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. So this is interesting. This is about the Republican Party, and the thing that came to me this morning. Hello, my little Earth Angel. The thing that came to me this morning around it all, when I woke up at 3 or 4 o'clock or whatever it was this morning. You get up, you can get up into the bed yourself, but no, you won't. You want to get onto my knee and then in the bed. Oh, angels are demanding. And when I woke up this morning about it, I got this whole thing about what came to me was this whole thing around out with the old, in with the new, and that the Republican Party, as it is right now, as it is, where it's it's a cult, isn't it? It's a cult of one person. How did that happen? The Grand Old Party, Ronald Reagan's party, the Bushes, or what happened? What happened? What went wrong? Well, it got off track, and people sold themselves for jobs and power and, all that sort of thing. As happens, it does happen. Those sorts of things go on. I'm playing with my hair. Those sorts of things go on. A lot of people, and they sold it out. They sold out the Republican Party. Now, all of those Republicans at the moment who are going across, and there's hundreds by the day, I think, going across. There's a couple hundred of them already, and there'll be a lot more. Those people that are going across to a coalition, so to speak, and it's a bit like, being an independent. Here in Australia, we have a two-party system. Well, we have a little bit more than that, but two major parties, and then we have other smattering of other parties, but we have two major parties. I won't explain how our political system works. It's a bit different than yours. But that's a healthy thing because, they keep each other on their toes. Of course, they fight and brawl and carry on about things, but, they also unite on issues they need to unite on. And like when COVID came along, we had to have a united front on COVID to be able to come out of that at the other end of the sausage machine, because it was pretty horrible, and lockdowns and all sorts of things, and to be able to survive during that. And but it's healthy. It's healthy to have a healthy two-party, and they can brawl and fight and spit at each other and yell at each other across the floor and all that. Years and years ago, I used to be involved in politics, so I do know a bit about politics. I've run for Parliament and government and that sort of thing. Anyway, we won't go into all that. That was a long time ago, and when I was a bit younger and more stupid. And but anyway, you should have a nice, healthy, dual party, because that's healthy for your economy. It's healthy for everything, because you need people with different points of view, and that's what makes the American, democracy, powerful in and of itself, and makes it worthwhile. But you don't have that at the moment. You have silliness, and you have one person running the show who's, quite frankly, I'm telling you, the man's, he's not mentally fit for the job. He's not. He's not mentally fit. I've watched him. He's got some serious cognitive, mental issues. Is that dementia? I don't know, because I'm not a specialist. but he certainly has some real issues, and he shouldn't be let near the Oval Office, and he certainly shouldn't be your president in the United States. That would be a very, very pitiful show, to say the least, and the rest of us would shudder severely. Okay, lover's card. It's interesting. I see this as your two-party system, and the juggling of it, this whole thing that's going on. You've got, your Republicans who stand for what Republicans always stood for, and there's a juggling now with all that, a real juggle with it. People who are, wanting to tear down your democracy, all those sorts of things. Queen of Wands, I'm going to stick my neck out and say this is Kamala Harris, that is uniting, bringing together in a coalition for the benefit of America. Now, that doesn't mean all those Republicans are wanting to be Democrats or will be Democrats, but they're creating a united front, and that's what you need. And I feel in the future, there's a whole lot of stuff here going on around the Republican Party. But what came to me when I woke up this morning early was that, and I'm just checking the time so I don't bore the tears out of you. What came to me was that the Republican Party, as you know it right now, it's pretty awful anyway, that party will fade away, and it will be replaced by true Republicans, I'll put it that way, people who believe in what the Republicans believe in, what the Republicans have always believed in, but there'll be a twist, I'm told, and that twist will come in the form of, out with the old and in with the new. So there will be some new blood, new ideas, new thinking, and for a long time now, I keep getting Liz Cheney. So it wouldn't surprise me that the Republican Party will re-emerge with a lot of these people who have left or been pushed out or ostracised, who are very, very good people, and that Republican Party won't be gathered up. I can see just the gathering up of it, this gathering that'll be gathered up, and it'll be renewed. It'll be set on a new path, and it wouldn't surprise me that that'll be headed up by Liz Cheney. I'm going to say that because that's what I believe. Okay, so that means that the Republican Party, as you know it today, as it is today, with all of those weakies that don't stand up and won't be counted for and don't have any courage, oh, well, they'll go down in history. They'll be talked about forever. Their legacy won't be worth talking about. And that's a bit of a shame. But anyway, that's the way it's meant to be. And I can't put my cards away because I haven't done the reading for my lovely, lovely people I promised to do a reading for. Jennifer, I'm going to do a reading for you now, darling. A couple of cards I'm going to pull out, or if something falls out. What's going on, Jennifer? Jennifer Francis. I think you're in the US. Tell me where you're from, Jennifer, and what's going on with you. Cards and warnings slip all over the place. Let's do a little bit of a shuffle here. Oh, Jennifer Francis, what's going on with you, Jennifer? What's happening, darling? What's going on in your life? Busy. You're very busy. Busy, busy. Let's have a look at that. Couple of cards. Oh, there you go. All right. Yeah. Okay. Judgment card. It's a major arcana card. The Judgment card. And yes, I love this. The Seven of Pentacles and this Judgment card. Okay, so two things are coming to me, Jennifer. Um, you're looking over what you've got. You're you're happy. You're happy with what you've achieved, and you're happy with, well, to a certain extent. You're happy with what you've got. You're happy with what you've achieved, um, but it seems to me that you've reached a point in your life, like a lot of us, where you're standing in judgment over it. And I don't mean that harshly. I mean that you're looking at your life and you're going, "Is this it? Is this all there is?" Um, and you're being pushed. I can feel like, you know I can feel like the hands in your back, sort of, pushing you gently, pushing you, and you haven't been able to get rid of that. You haven't been able to get rid of that feeling. You keep, going, "No, it's all good, it's all okay, I'm happy, I'm a happy chappy," but you're not. Underneath it all, pardon me, on the surface you are, and it's all good, but you're not really happy about it. You're standing in judgment over your life. You want more. What is the more that you want, darling? You can leave it in the comments. You don't have to say anything at all. Um, I'm just doing the reading. I'm just the messenger. That's what I get. So you're tending your garden, so to speak, the one that you've planted and grown and nurtured. Um, but you're at a point where you're going, where am I going? What am I doing? I want something else. I want it to be different. And there's something else different that you're wanting to experience or do. And because you're in this fairly stable, comfortable position, you're reluctant. Yeah, there is a reluctance, but you're being called. Trumpeter. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Jennifer. Now, Joanne. Darling heart. Joanne Sanchez. What's going on with Joanne Sanchez? What's happening with Joanne Sanchez? In America, you're living at the moment, all of you, you're all living with this opportunity for newness, for joy, and for something new, and not to focus on, no society's perfect. So if you're looking for perfection, leave the planet. It's not going to happen. We're not perfect here either. But you've got to go, well, warts and all. I can make something of this and I can do things. And that's what you have in America. Such an opportunity, such a land of opportunity, such an opportunity for you to do things. When I was there, I saw so many opportunities and so much. It's a wonderful, wonderful environment. And it was then. It wasn't for a long time, or hasn't been. But you have the opportunity to be there again. Don't get into all the rest of the stuff. Don't be conned and cajoled into a whole lot of nonsense and the fact that it's all doom and gloom and you're all going to fall down. They're going to pull a plug out and you're going to fall through the hole. That's crap. That's a load of bullshit. And it's not going to happen. Okay. Joanne Sanchez. Hmm. Right, okay. The Chariot card came out and the Knight of Cups. Okay, I'm going to go with this. The Chariot. I like the Chariot card. I love it. And it can sometimes represent a new car or a new vehicle. You're going to get a new car or a new vehicle. came for me when the Chariot card came out this time was, the hero's journey, and the Knight of Cups is this emotional thing. So it's been quite an emotional time for you, and it's been a bit like the hero's journey. Example, it's a bit like you've gone out on the hero's journey, learning, gathering, assimilating things, everything, pulling it all in, and now you have to bring it home. The hero journey often represents to us this going out on this journey of discovery, on this journey of learning, on this gathering of what we know we know. It's almost like a journey of enlightenment. Well, it is. The drawback with it can be that we've gone there to that place. We've gone on that journey, and we've gathered and we've learnt, and we understand more, and we're better equipped. But when we come back, we don't share it. So what I'm getting is this: it's time to share. That's what's being told to me. It's time to share, Joanne. It's like gathering up all that you know, all that you've learnt, the workshops, the books you've read, the people that you've met and spoken to, all of the things. You've gathered all that up, and it's now time to do something with it. So if I was to draw my own oracle cards, I'd probably draw the seeker and the source. And I think that you've been the seeker, and it's now time to be the source of things. To take what you know, what you've learnt, what you've gathered, what you've read, what you understand of all that. Because all of us, I give what comes from spirit, but I also give what comes from the knowledge and the learning and the gathering and the everything you gather up into this pot that's boiling. And, it's time to dish it up, time to put it out into some other bowls, time to share it. Get that? Hope that makes sense to you, darling. I do. Okay, Poptart, Pennsylvania. What's going on with you, darling? I love the name, Poptart, Pennsylvania. I haven't been to Pennsylvania. I'd like to go to Pennsylvania. I've been to Michigan. I've been to Wisconsin. I wanted to go to Chicago. I never did get there. Been to New Mexico and Arizona and, of course, California. And because I lived in the Pacific Northwest, I've seen, quite a lot around there. And, San Francisco, all those areas. Well, I'd seen those before I went to, well, as far as San Francisco anyway, before I went and lived in the US. Okay, what's happening? Poptart, Pennsylvania. What's happening with you, darling? What's going on with Poptart in Pennsylvania? Could you show me what is happening for Poptart in Pennsylvania? Okay, let's look at this for you, darling. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, what we've got is King of Swords, and we've got the Sun. Now, the King of Swords, who have you got around you? I'm going to stick my neck out on this. Who's this a little bit older person? I don't know. I don't know anything about you, so I don't know whether it's your husband, father, somebody around you. Gets into his head. He gets into his head. He's always, on about stuff. Probably drives you a bit nuts, really. And, it's a bit like off with his head. It's times I feel I'm getting this. It's like there's times when he drives you nuts. He drives you mad because he's this, thinker, nagger. It gets into his head, gets into stuff. Yeah. But the really important thing is the Sun card. There's the sun shining over your life. You. What is this all been about today? It's all been about you as the individual, you as the person, you as the spectacular being that came, you as the vessel of opportunity, you as the one who can make a difference in your life. Nobody else. I know people who every time something goes wrong, they've all got somebody to blame. They've all got somebody they can dump on. They've always got someone else to blame for all their woes and all the things that happen. That's going on in your life. I don't want to hear it. And neither do you. You have the opportunity. The sun shines on your life. Does that make sense? All this stuff is coming to me and I'm saying it and I'm thinking, what the? I just give it as it comes. I just give what I get. So the sun is shining on your life. The sun is shining on all that you do. And open your eyes and see it. Draw back the curtains, throw the doors open and let the sun shine in. Okay? Oh, that's it from me. Are we on the Titanic or are we on the Love Boat? I'm going to advocate that we were on the Titanic and we've now shifted and we've come to shore. We've gotten off the Titanic and we're now on the Love Boat. And we're there to have fun, enjoy. That's what's coming. And that's probably around all this stuff that's been going on in the world and in the US and in the Middle East and everywhere else. It's time for us. This is a wake-up call for us. It's not that we don't recognize the suffering. It's not that we don't recognize all that's going on. It's not that we don't know it all. We don't recognize it. We don't see it. We do. But we cannot make a difference. We cannot alter anything from a place of darkness. We can only do it from a place of light. Be joyful and bathe in the light and bring to the darkness, bring to all of this that overshadows lightness of being. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being present. As always, I love all of you. If I'm a bit tough on you, it's because I'm a tough old bird and, we don't have time. We do not have time for the BS. Grab your life, grab it by the neck and just get on with it. And I'll see you next week on Wednesdays with Wallis. Love from me. Talk to you soon. Bye.